meme spear? Brutal. It's not like the rest of these are good. I know what I must do. Okay, chat. How do we scale the eel? Why is eels good? It's not. Election run where you get the baseline down to 6.7 with perma-haste from wheel. Is that good? Like, it's still a worse Regal Blade at that point, right?
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish.
I guess you have access to Crow's Nest. Okay. I can sort of see it. Is it the skill merchants? Look for heavy ordnance. Okay.
You have at least a grain of wisdom, since you have come to me.
These aren't heavy ordnance.
My skills are not weapons. A blade can prove guard.
It's okay, Vanessa can't beat an eel.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of stores.
Let's basically call traps. It's only on weapon use that it does damage. Caltrops does damage on everything. Wow. Can't believe he's outscaling the eel. Oh, anyone got pig tips this patch?
The rest of the tyrant's gold.
I think what Pig wants to be doing this patch is trying to just spend the early game stacking HP as much as he can, and then try to pivot into anything that can give you damage in the late game. I think Lion Cane is probably his best option, but you're not always going to find it. Sometimes you gotta get really scrappy with enchant shops. Crusher Claw is a pretty solid build if you get an early Tunic. His starting items can, like, speedrun to 10 wins, but if you lose a couple of early fights, they're usually not good enough to win on, like, day 12 anymore. Basically, for late game Pig to be strong, he wants to have a ton of HP. For early game Pig to be strong, you want to high roll your starting items.
The Bazaar is filled with Earthlings. It is paradise. Today you have become slightly
I don't know about this whole visit skill shop thing. Wait, I lose to these. Oh no. No! Where's the mosquito? Rip. Landscraper, Vineyard Yo-Yo, usually 10 wins. I haven't had any success with that board. It keeps capping out at like 8 or 9 wins for me. Yeah, that too. Any build that needs a small item to activate is kind of unplayable right now. But even without it, it just seems like it ramps up
I
way
shift
too slow
my failure,
compared to the Duly builds.
My will to get stronger.
I mean, that's all problem with them. The other problem with them is even when you find them, they're not very
My
good.
battle days are over, but my weapons crave more. Go make some more stories, then come back and tell me. Nufo teaches stillness. I prefer action.
So I need another XP again.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun. Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
Does this beat anything?
No, I am not a dervish. That's offensive.
In general, having a wide board, lots of small items plays best without freeze and slow arcs at the moment, so it's hard to compete on that axis with large items versus the way Duly plays. In general, I agree. Not every Duly
Have failed you, Storm Queens.
is being very diligent about picking up the freeze skills, though.
See that
And if they're
there?
just relying on their beta ray to freeze, you kind of don't want to be playing small items. Dualities are a big problem. Yeah, I think the biggest issue is if you're fighting a dually that has successfully bought the good items, you're probably not winning no matter what you do. You just, like, don't even try to beat those boards if you're not playing dually. No, it's not a replacement. You can play it in addition to Beta Ray. Qualities are the best dually item. It's top 3. I think Beta Ray clears, but more and more dualies are buying the good items. Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed that. Nitro combined with Coolant is very good. Yeah, you can't really control where the Nitro goes. I like Coolant with the core a lot. Just have it be the item that is getting charged by the core. You can usually get it to like a 4-second activation. Then if it's gold, you've got 4 seconds of freeze on a 4-second cooldown.
Discounts for peace. Use that for the good of all.
Pig feels playable. I think he feels playable this patch. Pig is really reliant on his start. Like, if you don't get a good start, it does feel like you're fumbling until you can find a pivot. But, like, Pig with a good starting item is fine. Pig's the second best. Probably. I do think the gap between first and second right now is bigger than it's ever been.
Play place to store the rest of the
Characters
tyrant's
you feel is
gold.
more dependent on CDR? Most dependent? I don't even know. Every class cares about it a ton. I guess, like, Pig has the hardest time getting haste, and enough CDR can sort of be a replacement for haste. Bonk Weapon Pig consistently win against Duly. I think it can consistently win against some of the more mediocre Duly builds that you run into on ladder. I don't think a proper Duly build is losing to Pig. But everyone's like tunneled on Monitor Lizard and playing companion cores rather than just playing all the good Duly items.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
Are
Heal
you
position.
sure?
Right. Eh.
Huge.
-4. Playing core with Mamasaur plus battery. I mean, that can probably win. I wouldn't say you're playing the good Duly items, but it might be situationally strong.
Chasing you.
Land legs make you predictable. You move in straight lines.
Alright, you lost. Okay, never mind. Rip.
This world
Crit
is
core with
full
motherboard
of
haste, you think is the
monsters.
strongest?
I'm quiet with
I feel like motherboard just has to be bait while the rays are as strong as they are. I feel like your damage output with just like beta ray and a damage ray of your type, and then fill the rest of your board with the good Duly stuff, just has to be better. Yeah, it's been doing that forever. There's less haste now than there used to be with beta ray not hasting itself instead of charging itself. Like, I would think motherboard got worse relative to what it was before.
We'll... shouldn't have buried that last treasure.
Metronome and haste skills. Yeah, but like now you've got to find haste skills. Metronome's also not the easiest thing to find because it starts at silver.
As long as you draw breath, your
I'm not gonna say
training
it's bad.
is complete.
Like, it's probably still better than whatever Pigs and Vanessas can do this patch, but the rays are just so consistent and so strong.
Good food feeds body and soul.
It just seems hard to want to do anything else for my damage package. Nice change of pace. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Inlanders. Plump and pampered as babies.
When I say rays, I don't mean 4 rays. I just mean you play beta ray and the ray of your damage type. And then a bunch of support items. I think 4 rays is huge bait.
The Lord of the Wastes would like you.
Alpha Ray seemed bad.
Over already?
Yeah, the only game that I had Alpha Ray in, I ended up cutting it long term, but both the Burn Ray and the Poison Ray are absurd when they get upgraded. so.
Come with no weapons, leave with big bargains.
Wait, this is more flat scaling for my electric eels. God damn it. I could take the bronze dock lines just so that I have an item to upgrade. The game is laggy as it shows on stream for me. I'm not dropping any frames, so probably. I might need to restart my game. I've been paying too much attention during the combats.
Your aura guided me to what I needed.
Thrower is the best item you've never put on your board. Yeah, it used to be a lot better. There's a bunch of items Duly has that, even if other characters were playing them for the same reasons Duly would play them, would still be one of their best items. If that makes sense. It's not like they have items that make the Duly item crazy, like a lot of cross-class synergies would be. It's just like, Duly's items are so much better than everyone else's items. That he cannot even fit them all on the board. Like, Missile Launcher is a pretty absurd weapon that doesn't even end up on most boards. Chrono Barrier. Micronave is probably better in the context of Duly's items, and one of the best burn items in the game, and still doesn't end up on Duly burn boards.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago. My fight isn't with you, but if you insist...
It's too slow. Yeah. I mean, it's 2 slots, but so is Soldering Gun, to be fair.
Like my crew says at the bar, another round!
Like, Soldering Gun almost requires you to play an item you wouldn't otherwise be playing to support it.
I flow like the waves.
Do I win this? I have no idea. I'm clicking it anyway.
Oh, you'd make a lovely statue.
Duly could consistently get Drip. Comboing that with Pulse. Wait, consistently get Drip. What's Drip? Medium with a 50% chance to be radiant. That's... That's the best way that I have heard
As spineless as a jellyfish.
the difference between small and medium items described. It took me a second, but once I understood what you were saying... Oh, the cloak. Yeah. Definitely very good early. I need something to capitalize on slows. Can I sell this dock lines to try to get a silver dock line? You don't get the joke. So when you're playing two small items, there's a 50% chance that the opponent's freeze goes on the small item you don't care about, instead of on the item that you care about. Whereas if it's a medium, it's always hitting the medium.
I may be young for a captain, but I
Big part of why large item boards are so scuffed, especially late game when all the free skills are online. Get him, Eel! Get him!
All cannon, no ball.
Yeah, let's talking about Beta Ray. Which, right now, we're usually talking about Beta Ray is the problem, but... Yeah, it does feel silly that by keeping the dock lines on your board, you can't find a gold version of it in shops. Like, you can only upgrade it to silver. How did this board fare if the opponent is only playing bonk weapons? Is that a question that you're genuinely asking, or is that a question that... that you're making fun of the board? No bully, please. It has 3 wins. It has 3 wins so far. Contingency? No, there's no contingency.
Was that even a battle?
If we have a big enough cove, maybe we can win in Sandstorm.
You've just taken the first step toward good taste.
So let's throw the
You
cove.
wanna buy that? I mean, excellent choice.
Haha! Now this will inspire the crew.
Upgrade Eels. Does upgrading Eels do anything? I don't actually know what Golden Eels does. Plus 5 damage and plus 1 second of slow. Incredible. This doesn't get used, so there's not really synergy here. There's synergy with the cove, but... it's a very slow clock. I also don't have the gold. That's the bigger problem, I guess. Chance for the cove. This isn't doing anything.
More
Right.
raids, more bounty.
Always sell cove. Cove is unfortunately the best item on my board.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Yeah, usually items are a lot better when they can be used. Usually a very big buff. Oh yeah, the lag is really bad. I need to restart my game. I did not realize it was getting this bad.
You've got talent. You should put it toward nobler use.
Quick. I think I'm just taking the life. The big problem with this board right now is that nobody is playing weapons because weapons suck. So we don't even really have good matchups. What does Joyful Jack have? There are no weapons on that board. Maybe? There's a katana.
Bazaar will be my nest.
I'm pretty sure we just die in fatigue. Maybe Cove clears.
He fight worse than he press.
My favorite part about this board is that this freeze isn't even good for me.
Blame the crew for this?
Hey, Yisp. How's it going? Could play like Submarine, maybe?
All things in moderation. In life and business.
Okay, or not. Yeah, Eel has a bunch of fun enchants.
Nothing I can do about your poor judgment.
Okay, this is what you want to see. When you've got an Eel on your board, sometimes you just gotta see a Vanessa that's at 2 wins on day 7. This
Go
is
ahead,
definitely a weapon board.
underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
I'm doing pretty
We're
good.
out to
Doing pretty
dethrone
good.
the king, not to squabble with nobody.
They have a figurehead, though. Uh-oh. Nah, it's fine.
Defeat does not defeat me.
I'm gonna win
All
with Eel in
cannon,
1 step.
no ball.
Okay, let's buff our eels some more. Is that Bunker Armadillo? Sure. I'm still just sitting on these CDR items. I don't know what my plans for them are. Kind of too poor to go here. Just take the spare change. The Trop is great with the Cove, and in general, having survivability lets you take more hits or electric eels to counterattack. Oh yeah, can I play Trop? I forgot this item does something. It's like 2 regen when I slow. Kill a cooldown. Maybe. No, it's not playable. You say that, but do you see the items currently on my board?
See that plank? Walk it.
It's not about if it's playable in a vacuum. It's, is it playable relative to a bronze docklines and a pet rock? 2 regen. Okay, maybe not. I should move this over. May as well get that 4 extra damage. Take the free shit. You know how Docklines interacts with Lighthouse. It should be for each slow, the cooldown gets reduced. So if you slow 2 things with 1 item, you still get the 2 triggers on Lighthouse.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
Yeah, I should sell the Docklines. I should sell the Docklines. Can't freeze the eels!
Land legs make you predictable. You move in straight lines.
Whoa. Okay, I'm just gonna say fuck the 4 damage because I don't want to keep moving this every time I get sharpening stones. I think that's fair.
Strike hard, strike once. Now you know, but tell no one.
Yeah, I don't know. We could try to get the Cove. I'm probably just using my level 11 upgrade on the Cove, though. Unless Void Ray goes crazy with an upgrade. It gets an additional scaling? That's kind of cool.
I won't fight that war anymore, but I'll teach you how. Gotta admit, you got a Corsair spirit.
Does Enclave Revenant have weapons? There is one.
You must think very highly of yourself to challenge me.
Shockwave has the regen burn. Wait, does it?
I must know.
Oh, Purifying Flame. When you gain regen, a burn item gains 1 burn.
It's over already.
Yeah, I just
We
don't know that
barely
I
got our
beat it.
flags up.
What site am I using? That one. Does Gumball work on Beast of Burden? Beast of Burden needs you to buy things, right? Gumball does not count as buying something. It's buying something when you click on an item, and that item goes to your inventory. So, like, combat rewards count as buying, but things that you click and then just put items in your inventory that aren't the same thing that you clicked, they're not buying. So when you gain regen burn 2... this site is telling me it's when you gain regen, a burn item gains 1 burn, but I could be wrong. I've never seen the skill. I don't know if it drops. Another Vanessa! Wait, they also have 5 wins. I don't know how I feel about that.
You should know.
They
I'm
lost
a bit
late,
of a
though.
legend on
So
Palago.
probably still weapons. Ranked is all dualies. Unranked is still a pretty good mix. Yeah, usually the last couple days of the patch tends to get really monotonous, so I just play unranked and build up ranked tickets for the following week. Usually more variety on unranked. Rip.
Like my crew
Yeah, I would not be trying to play Eel unranked right now.
round.
I don't think that would work very well. Reddit people are complaining that unranked is harder than ranked. Yeah, that's... I think for the first couple days of the patch, when everyone is still figuring things out, it's about the same. But on the last couple days of the patch, I think unranked is probably like 20 to 30% easier. At the very least, there's a larger number of bad boards on unranked than on ranked. Even if the ceiling of board you might run into is the same. Or like when we were playing ranked yesterday, we were literally fighting 85-90% dualies. Now, not all the dually boards were good, but they were trying. Can't find anything in this game? I mean, what are you trying to do? Finding specific items after, like, other than bronzes is usually pretty hard. That is not your ranked experience. Day 12, 13, 14 was Duly Pignessa. Yeah, I mean, that was... That was my experience until yesterday. But yesterday we played ranked for 4 hours, and it was just mono dualies.
Do you have any really...
What's beyond day 12 is less likely, because Duly ports tend to win early. Maybe. Maybe. Like, I do think you can definitely 10 win with any of the heroes. Like, we had some 10 wins with Pig yesterday. We've been 10 winning with Vanessa for most of the patch. But it does seem a whole lot easier with Duly. I can't get it.
It's smaller than Quixel.
How am I even speeding this up? And,
Is it because I talk too slow?
sad.
You really don't want to do this.
Titles on Pig or unique builds on Vanessa feel more pog. So, I agree the high rolls on Pig are a lot of fun. That's part of why I played Pig yesterday. I think Pig has some really cool, unique games. I don't know that the same is true for Vanessa. I feel like tryhard against Vanessa is just like playing Trebuchet every game, but...
They're gonna pay for this.
Was that even a
I could be
battle?
wrong.
Maybe a skirmish.
That is part of why we're trying stuff tonight. Get a feel for the other things Vanessa can try.
Hello, little sentient.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, the bigger
More
the
slow.
The quicker the fight.
Taking the skill will be a mistake. Maybe. If I get Jite, it's another thing that scales the Jite. When did I get this Jite? I think when I clicked this, I thought it was a Honing Steel. Well, I guess we have a Jite. Sick. Yeah, I don't know where I got this.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
It was to get a slow item event. Oh, did I just like click it without even looking at it? Because I assumed it was gonna be trash. No! Weapons! Play weapons! Rude.
Time is an endless nap. Come on.
I can double the shield on my Cove. I think I'd rather save the enchantment slot on the eels.
Aha! Now this will inspire the crew.
Dagger is kind of bad now because it's getting slowed. Yeah, it's not great. It still scales the Jite. Actually. No, so this activates and it grows both the electric eels and the Jite. It's better now than it was before.
Everyone's already so slow, but sure, let's make it worse.
I think eel is friend. It is. It is. No, you're right. You're right.
Go on then, have a little battle or something.
This probably needs to come out. It's a good thing they buffed this fight.
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
Octofriend! Okay, so... we don't beat anyone that doesn't have weapons anyway.
This world is full of noise. You must find the quiet within. I do not teach violence. I teach mastery over it.
Correct, the eels aren't used. Left burn. Edge for freeze burn. I think the crit chance is better. Burn Octo would have been legit.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
I think I'd rather have the crit. Okay, they have weapons. Also have a lot of shielding. They're not really scaling their damage. Like, my Jite is scaling more than their combat core. Octopus did its job and ate the atomic clock.
You fall like a boulder.
Core's okay.
I
Opponent's not exactly playing good items around it. The big problem with combat core is just usually you're committed to what your damage type is before you see a combat core, because, like, you bought a Ray on day one. So why are you visiting a large item shop? The big thing the combat core excelled at before wasn't even that combat core itself was really good, it was just a reliable way to fix the how am I going to deal damage problem that Duly would often have. It wasn't necessarily the best, but it was reliable, and you could find it early. Yeah, I don't know why Plasma Grenade got murdered. Poor Plasma Grenade.
Have at least a grain of wisdom, since you have come to me.
Should try Cogmind? I don't know what that is. Got a Mocto.
Care little for gold. Your enlightenment is my reward.
8-second for that item is so bad. It's not as... It's... It averages out to being like a 1-second cooldown item, and you can speed it up. It's just that that first activation not happening until 8 seconds is rough. Wait, is Octopus a vehicle? Wait, is it? No, it's not. Why are there so few slow items for Duly when Duly has Pylon and a weak point detector? Does Duly have fewer slow items than the other characters? I think of Duly as having the best access to slow. Hold up. Now I'm curious. I guess Chemsnail doesn't slow anymore. Yeah, it's really just LED's Duct Tape Pylon. It's just LEDs is so good. Yeah, Duct Tape adds up. What are these? That's cool. It doesn't have any damage on it, but it is really cool.
How do you hugelings use these things? I guess I made a sale. Midsworth says I have to trade even when I
Cove
don't care.
stats. Marbles is good, yeah. Marbles is pig, but...
I would never debase my wares.
Not with Duly.
Haggling.
Yeah, you can get it with the other shop event. It's not a drop from any monsters, so you just have to find a pig shop. Like, there are a lot of random hits for Pearl's dig site. There always are, but you never see them because the pool is ginormous. I just never click on dig site. I feel like it has to be bait almost every time. I actually don't think I have ever been happy after clicking on Pearl's dig site.
Remember, diamonds come in small boxes.
is freeze. Freeze is freeze, and I don't know, it scales off petrifying gaze.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
Well, the GTA is scaling off of itself. No, they're not playing weapons! Oh wait, they are playing a weapon. It's a good thing I put these other small items in that can eat the freeze, so that my GTA is not permafrozen. Yeah, if I played Octopus, we lose that fight.
I paint my ship red, but I don't use paint.
The smaller the portions, the finer the meal.
Just gonna cycle this,
Still
whatever.
a gift wrapper for you.
Yeah, proud of that eel. He played it and thought it was better than most people thought. I don't know. I don't know how bad most people think it is. I think the biggest problem that Eel has is you can't pick what mode it's going to be on a given fight. Like, if Eel was either of these modes reliably, it would be a lot more interesting. But you can't really build around both modes. And unless you build around both modes, there's going to be some fights where your board just doesn't function. He says while building around both modes. But you know what I mean. Eel was changing modes every day. It would be different. Proboscis. Yeah, but then you want to be scaling the eel and the proboscis. Rather than just stacking all your loot on one of them.
See that plank? Walk it.
But also 4 slots on your board. Weak point detector? Okay, okay. I see how it is.
You have great potential. Let me train.
We can do better. Sure.
As long as you draw breath, your training is not complete.
This might let me beat some of the stronger burn dually boards. Rise more Nessas, don't run Harpoon. I'm not. The more I played Harpoon, the lower I got on it. It's too slow, it hits the wrong item too much. It takes up too much space. You gotta invest a lot into it for it to even feel like a real item on your board. Like, I kind of think of Harpoon like a beta ray that I need to invest into. It doesn't buff the rest of my board, and it takes up 2 space.
Any good fights lately? Oh, I do miss it. Hey, when you carry my weapon, I fight alongside you.
Yeah, like, it's a
Enjoy the thrill of battle.
kind of the same issue that Dianosaur has, is that Dianosaur is a Duly item. It is harder to find and worse than Beta Ray.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Like, theoretically, if you play Harpoon, you get it to Diamond, you have Oceanic Rush on it, it triggers after 2.5 seconds, you get it to... what was I saying? You get it to blow up their damage scaling, and then maybe that's good enough. One more? One more? Nice. But, like, for every time that happens, your first cooldown is just gonna go on, like, one of the filler items on their board, and you still just die. Uzi killed him. That too. Got him. What scales the blowgun damage? Our opponent applying burn to us. It's gonna be G2, right?
I was expecting
Could be
you
my
like
clam,
5
too.
seconds ago.
Oh, you can't even roll it. Yeah, right. Yep. Octopus have good enchants? I think so? Oh no, he kinda doesn't.
It's over already. We barely got our flags up.
Yeah, I guess an 8-second freeze every 8 seconds. It's not as exciting as, like, an Atlatl. It's like half as good as Atlatl, while also not activating until way later into the fight. Guarantee the skill here. I think it can still give you the Tiny Cutlass upgrade, because the Cutlass isn't Diamond. If you have the Diamond Cutlass, I think you're guaranteed a skill. Frames? Nice round shield number.
Few warriors live to retire. By my weapons, Nufo teaches stillness. I prefer
action.
I wouldn't be cycling everything here if I didn't have the
Use it
50
well.
gold in the octopus,
Make me
but
proud.
might as well take what I can get here. Vanessa. Okay, theoretically, what Vanessa boards do we lose to here? If they're playing Trebuchet, we scale to the moon. If they're playing weapons, we eel them to death.
Go
Puffer?
ahead.
Well,
Underestimate me. It makes this
they
more
probably don't
fun.
have a puffer.
My fight isn't with you.
Flagship could be pain.
If you
Doesn't
insist.
Flagship just, like, trade with the eel? That's kind of pain. I did forget about corrosive toxins. Looks like it doesn't matter, though.
Bring her about. I've got another salvo in me.
Yeah, I don't know how negative poison works. I don't think negative damage heals them. So I think it just does nothing. Did burn eels do? They apply burn, but it's gotta be worse than having lifesteal on this. Yeah, what does the blowgun enchant do? Burn equal to this item's damage. Should I just poison in that case? Yeah, it's either poison or we haste something. I don't think I have any good targets for the haste enchant. Burn on weapon or non-weapon. Weapon. Yeah, all the damage one cares about weapons. Clam haste. Isn't it just like 1 second of haste? 2 seconds of haste on a 9-second cooldown. Haste Cove. I think I like double shield on the Cove. I don't think I want to sack that enchant. If it wasn't already shielded, then I haste Cove, yeah.
Good food feeds body and soul.
Juggler?
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish.
Ability begins with belief. You can think yourself faster.
Yes, Oceanic Rush is fine.
Space and time are only suggestions, and we can ignore them.
Well, the crescendo is slow to build up, but
The Bazaar is a rabbit
it gets me crit
race.
chance on the GTA.
Be its master.
Okay, win or lose, last fight. I guess I'm gonna keep you around for morale.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies. You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Oh my god. I'm dead! Please freeze the crane. Please freeze the crane!
I paint my ship red, but I don't bleed. All of this is just training. Our real fight is on Pelago.
Rip. Cool board anyway. I don't know. Pretty happy with how that shaked up.